me just give an opportunity to the Vice President of this NGO, with whom we have collaborated to organize this paralegal volunteer program, that is विधि सेवा एवं सामाजिक उत्थान, देहरादून।
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम मोनिका नेगी है और मैं विधि सेवा एवं सामाजिक उत्थान समिति की वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हूँ। हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक स्टूडेंट फॉर्म ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, जिसमें ज़्यादातर जो स्टूडेंट हैं वो लॉ बैकग्राउंड से ही नहीं है, बल्कि अदर फील्ड के स्टूडेंट भी हैं, जैसे कि मैं खुद एक एमकॉम की स्टूडेंट हूँ। हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का एम केवल लीगल अवेयरनेस एंड असिस्टेंस देना ही नहीं है, बल्कि सोसाइटी की हर एक प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करना है।
The students, advocates, and all who are present here, I will just emphasize these 2-3 words or sentence or words in this Article 39A.
Lok Adalat. The PLV can be a member of the Lok Adalat who has to assist the panel member, who can be a panel member, who has to assist the process of the Lok Adalat.
Everyone, all the dignitaries in this training program.
Andy Chaudhary, principal of the college.
So, with the permission of all the honorable dignitaries and Principal Dr. Chaudhary sir, may I begin the program, sir?
Yes, sir, please.
Please, sir.
Thank you. A very warm welcome and good morning to all of you, to all the honorable dignitaries present in this online training program for paralegal volunteers. All the delegates from different parts of India, different institutes from India, all the dear students, upcoming lawyers, advocates. Indeed, it is a pleasure and a very, very honorable fact that today we have brought for you all, for all of us, two of the stalwarts in the legal fields. Of course, one is His Lordship, Honorable Dr. Rajesh Tandon, and another guest we have today with us is Honorable Dr. Umesh More sir. To both, I will introduce when their sessions will begin. Now, friends, we all know that we are struck in this pandemic. The second wave has hit India a lot compared to the first period of pandemic. But nevertheless, our education platform on this online virtual world is going on, and it shall go on. Let us take this as an opportunity for all of us and learn various new things, what we have been doing right since last March. Now, friends, I am happy to announce you that we have organized near about 15 to 20 programs throughout the year in this pandemic period. We are known for the uniqueness of the programs which we organize. Nobody was knowing NTVS a year ago, but now we have reached to such a height that today we have brought one of the you can say upcoming NGO or an NGO which is doing a lot of hard work, which is Vidhi Seva. In their collaboration, we have brought this program to you. Now, as the topic is paralegal volunteers, it is concerned with all of us. It is concerned right from judges to law students, to NGOs, to all the social workers who are doing very good job in this pandemic period and in this society. Yes, it is not an easy task to be a volunteer, but friends, you know who is a volunteer. Volunteer may not have each and every time to spare, but he must have a big heart, and that is what a person becomes. That is by what the person becomes a successful volunteer. With this theme, we have brought this program, and in this program we will be inviting our honorable guest. Of course, as I said you, one is His Lordship Dr. Rajesh G. Tandon and another Dr. Umesh G. More. So before I say much more, let me first invite our principal of this college, Dr. Andy Chaudhary sir, to address the audience. So please.
Distinguished dignitaries present here and dear friends, we are fortunate to organize this program today by our NTVS College of Law, Institute of Legal Education and Research, Nandurbar, Maharashtra, in collaboration with विधि सेवा एवं सामाजिक उत्थान समिति of Dehradun. Today we have with us Honorable Justice Rajesh Tandon ji, former judge, Uttarakhand High Court, senior advocate of the Supreme Court. He is also chairman of Justice Tandon Arbitration and Mediation Center, New Delhi. I welcome sir you on behalf of my NTVS Law College. Then I welcome Honorable Judge More sir. He is a judge at City Civil and Session Court, Mumbai. I welcome Associate Dean of our university, Honorable Dr. Reddy sir, Honorable Dr. Bairam sir, Principal Law College, Dhule, and all the respected dignitaries who are present, and my dear friends, dear paralegal volunteers. Our NTVS Law College was established in 1999, and this was the only law college which was providing legal education in the tribal district of Nandurbar, Maharashtra. Feeling our social responsibility, we started making aware legal awareness in the tribal area. First, we had surveys of legal awareness, and the data which we found in the surveys was very shocking, because more than 95% tribal people from our area, they were not knowing the concept like constitution, legal aid, like this. And that is why we thought it fit to start legal awareness. And for that purpose, we utilize our tribal students who are also paralegal volunteers. They tried to make awareness in local tribal dialogue regarding the basic laws which are very essential for day-to-day life. So in this way, we are trying for making legal awareness in our area. And we thought that now why not to train these our paralegal volunteers from the eminent personalities who have very vital experience in this field. And for that purpose, we are fortunate that Honorable Justice Tandon sir, Honorable Judge More sir are with us. They will guide our students, paralegal volunteers, and their guidance will be definitely it will be helpful to make the awareness in this in this area where it is very important to make the legal awareness. So friends, I request you all to be with us till the end of this program, so that we can understand whatever guidance will be given, that will be implemented in our tribal area also, and in all the areas where it is required. So once again, I welcome you all, and I am thankful to my management, especially Honorable Advocate Rajendraji Raghuvanshi, who is a former Additional Solicitor General of India, former Vice Chairman Bar Council of India, who encourage us to arrange such type of programs for the awareness. So thank you all. Over to Dr. Hassani.
Thank you very much, sir. As it is well said by Elizabeth Andrew, that volunteers do not necessarily have the time, they have just the heart. As I already told you, all of them may not be having time, but you should have a heart which is ready to work as a volunteer. You may make a living by what you get, but you may make a life by what you give. This is what Winston Churchill also has said. A kind request to Honorable Associate Dean of Law Department, KBC North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, to welcome our dignitaries on behalf of university. Sir, please.
Good morning to you all. On behalf of KBC and North Maharashtra University, so I am taking part in this webinar on paralegal volunteers. So I appreciate firstly the management and principal Dr. N.D. Chaudhary sir and his team members of NTVS Law College. And so not less than 20-25 programs have been organized this institution, so which is situated in Adivasi area. Today the institution NTVS Law College organizing a good program, which is at present need of the day. These paralegal volunteers whose help is very much useful to the society on this occasion. So the NTVS Law College who have invited for guest speakers. So Lordship Rajesh Tandon sir and Judge More sir from Maharashtra, Mumbai. And I welcome you, sir, on behalf of KBC North Maharashtra University. Though it is a pandemic period, it is a horrible period. You have, in spite of your busy schedules, in spite of your work, you have taken part in this program. I welcome you on behalf of KBC North Maharashtra University once again. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presence in this program. And yes, indeed, you have welcomed officially our honorable guest on behalf of KBC North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, especially the law department. Thank you so much, sir. Before I invite the honorable guest, let me just give an opportunity to the vice president of this NGO with whom we have collaborated to organize this paralegal volunteer program. That is Vidhi Seva Evam Samajik Utthan, Dehradun. So Vice President of this NGO is present with us, Ms. Monica Negi. Please, you can unmute yourself and address the audience.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम मोनिका नेगी है और मैं विधि सेवा एवं सामाजिक उत्थान समिति की वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हूँ। हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक स्टूडेंट फॉर्म ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जिसमें ज्यादातर जो स्टूडेंट हैं वो लॉ बैकग्राउंड से ही नहीं है बल्कि अदर फील्ड के स्टूडेंट भी हैं, जैसे कि मैं खुद एक एमकॉम की स्टूडेंट हूँ। हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का एम केवल लीगल अवेयरनेस एंड असिस्टेंस देना ही नहीं है बल्कि सोसाइटी की हर एक प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करना है और इसके साथ ही जो लोग सोसाइटी के लिए अपनी अपनी तरफ से अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन कर रहे हैं उनको फैसिलिटेट।
मोनिका मैडम, प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ, अनम्यूट कीजिए। ओके, कैरी ऑन। नहीं, एक सेकंड मोनिका मैडम, मैं जब कहूंगा तब अनम्यूट कीजिए। हाँ, अभी कीजिए।
और इसके साथ ही जो लोग सोसाइटी के लिए अपनी तरफ से अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन कर रहे हैं उनको फैसिलिटेट करके उनको मोटिवेट करना भी है ताकि आने वाले टाइम में वो अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन सोसाइटी के लिए ऐसे ही वेलफेयर के लिए सोसाइटी वेलफेयर के लिए करते रहें। जैसा कि हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का जो मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव है वो ये है कि जो बैकवर्ड एरिया के लोग हैं, जो बैकवर्ड एरिया में रह रहे हैं, वहाँ उनको अवेयरनेस प्रोवाइड करना है थ्रू आउटरीच प्रोग्राम्स करके, लीगल एड कैंप लगवाकर रिगार्डिंग लीगल राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज के बारे में और जो भी गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स है उसके थ्रू, जिसमें कि DLS से देहरादून जो है के हेल्प से हम उन लोगों तक, जरूरतमंद लोगों तक वो सारी जानकारी पहुंचाते हैं। हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को स्टार्टअप करने के लिए एक सपोर्ट की जरूरत होती है और हमारे लिए ये एक बहुत ऑनर की बात है कि वो सपोर्ट हमें जस्टिस राजेश टंडन सर के थ्रू मिला है और अभी भी मिलता हुआ आ रहा है। मैं आशा करती हूँ कि उनका सपोर्ट ऐसे ही हमारे साथ बना रहे। एट दी एंड में मैं हमारी पूरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की तरफ से NTVS लॉ कॉलेज के प्रोफेसर्स एंड ऑर्गेनाइजर को थैंक यू बोलना चाहूंगी कि उन्होंने इतने अच्छे टॉपिक पर हमारे साथ मिलकर वेबिनार ऑर्गेनाइज किया है और आशा करती हूँ कि ऐसे ही हम फ्यूचर में साथ में मिलकर और भी इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज करते रहेंगे।
थैंक यू वेरी मच मोनिका मैडम। आपके साथ कोलैबोरेट करके हमें भी बहुत गर्व महसूस हुआ। मैंने आपका प्रोफाइल एक्चुअली फेसबुक पे देखा, आपका NGO बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहा है। आप लोग बैकवर्ड एरिया में काम कर रहे हो, उसी तरह हमारा लीगल एड सेंटर जो हमारे कॉलेज का है, हम भी ट्राइबल बच्चों के लिए काम करते हैं, ट्राइबल बच्चों को पढ़ाते हैं। तो ये एक जॉइंट वेंचर इसलिए भी मेरे ध्यान में आया कि क्यों ना एक आउटरीच इस प्रोग्राम का बढ़ाया जाए और पूरे देश को पता चले कि किस तरह से बैकवर्ड एरिया के लोगों के लिए हम मिलके काम कर सकते हैं। तो थैंक यू वेरी मच मोनिका मैडम।
थैंक यू।
Yeah. So yes, friends, now it's time to invite our honorable guest, but let me take this opportunity, or rather I say an honor for me to introduce His Lordship in front of you all. So as you know, today we have got Honorable Justice Dr. Rajesh Tandon, who was the former judge of Uttarakhand High Court at Nainital. He is currently designated as a senior advocate in the Supreme Court of India. He is also chairman of Justice Rajesh Tandon Arbitration and Conciliation Center. He was designated as a senior advocate way back in 2000. He was also appointed as Additional Advocate General of Uttarakhand after bifurcation of state of UP for the state of Uttarakhand and state of UP in September 2002. He was also appointed as Judge of Uttarakhand Court on 3rd July 2003 by President of India. Then was appointed as Chairperson of Cyber Appellate Tribunal by the President of India and took charge on 2009 at Delhi. Vice Chairman of Amity Institute of Cyber Law and Cybercrime, Amity University, Noida. He was also appointed as Chairman of Higher Technical Education of Uttarakhand in 2011. Also, he took charge as member of Sanskrit University in 2013 by His Excellency Governor. He was awarded PhD by the Open International Universities for Complementary Medicines on 1st February 2015. He was awarded honorary professorship by Amity University in 2016. On 3rd January 2017, he was appointed as Chairman of State Law Commission Uttarakhand and took charge on 4th January 2017 and continued up to April 2020. He was awarded by honorary doctorate by AIIPPHS State Government University, Delhi. To his name, he has various law books like Commentary on Rent Control Act, 4th edition, Right to Information Act published in 2016, Commentary on Motor Vehicles Act 1988, an exhaustive commentary on electricity laws. He is also arbitrator on panel of ONGC, Delhi High Court Arbitration Center, Scope, National Arbitral Tribunal, Jodhpur, Rajasthan, the Mediation and Conciliation Network, Power Grid Corporation of India, Sub Industries Limited, National Backward Classes Finance and Development Corporation, Farakka Raiganj Highways Limited, and Punjab and Haryana High Court. He has also participated in various international conferences as a chief guest, as a participant also. Then, when this pandemic period started, he has been chief guest in various video conferences during this lockdown. As many as 35 events he has attended so far on this online virtual platform. So, sir, I have got here about 30 pages to introduce you, but pardon me if I am not able to address anything to the audience regarding you. So, as you have for years heard thousands of advocates saying, I humbly submit. So, hereby, on behalf of my college, NTVS College of Law, I humbly submit to you to start your presentation, sir. So, please.
Thank you, Hasni Saab. All the dignitaries who are present here, the college associates who are present here, Mr. Umesh Chandra ji, who is a civil judge, a lot of has to say for the civil judges also, which I will, in my address, I will address. Their work is also very important nowadays. Mr. N.D. Chaudhary, Principal, thank you very much for participating and organizing this program. Dr. Hasni, who is also a diamond in this program, and I appreciate his working capacity for organizing these seminars. Then Mr. Muhammad Tasir, who is a coordinator also of the Vidh Seva Evam Samajik Utthan Samiti. I congratulate Mr. Tahir for organizing these programs for the welfare of the litigants, for the welfare of the law students, and welfare of the villagers also. On the at the same time, Vidh Seva Samaj Utthan Samiti Vice President, Ms. Monica Negi is also present. She is very cooperative and she is always cooperating in all the programs. and even attending the arbitration programs of mine at Uttarakhand, Dehradun. I congratulate her for taking such initiative and also taking such momentum for the programs. Now, before me also, the Mr. Manoj Raghuvanshi, Rajendra Raghuvanshi, and Sri Chandra Manav Raghuvanshi, and I am thankful to all those who have participated in this program. Actually, their task is also has become very important in the pandemic time, because the Bar Council is the main diamond body for all the lawyers, and therefore when I will address, I will also address about the role of Bar Council also in this situation, and also for the situation of the NGOs. Before I start on the topic of the paralegal volunteers, I am also follower and devoted to the Bombay Ganesh ji, and for that purpose I will just say Vakratund Mahakaya Surya Koti Samprabham Nirving Kurme Dev Sarv Kayesh Sada करोड़ सूर्य के समान महाप्रतिभाशाली मेरे प्रभु हमेशा मेरे सारे कार्य बिना विघ्न के पूरे करें और सभी को एक सहूलियत दें, सभी को एक शक्ति दें, यही प्रार्थना करता हूं। मैं जब भी whenever I visited Bombay, I have not forgotten or I have not missed, I'll say, to have my puja on the temple of the Ganesh ji, Siddha Vinayak. My director of Uttarakhand, Sunita Rawat, will also be present here. She is also looking after the Dehradun camp of mine for the arbitration matters. Now the topic of today, that is paralegal volunteers, is a combined project for all the Arbitrations Act, Human Rights Act, Legal Services Authorities Act, and main Constitution of India. Constitution of India is a Ganga, and it is flowing, and then all the acts are coming up. Just to sum up Ganga, I will say, first of all, Article 39A of the Constitution of India, how this paralegal volunteers word has started. First of all, I come to Article 39A of the Constitution of India. Then I will come to the scheme and other subordinate acts which govern this Article 39A of the Constitution of India. The state, it is 39A, the state shall secure that the operation of the legal system promotes justice on a basis of equal opportunity and shall in particular provide free legal aid by suitable legislation or schemes or in any other way to ensure that opportunities for securing justice are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disabilities. The students, advocates, and all who are present here, I will just emphasize these 2-3 words or sentence or words in this Article 39A. Suitable legislation or schemes to ensure securing justice are not denied to any citizens. These three words are there: free legal aid by suitable legislation or schemes. Now, Article 39A has given complete freedom to make suitable legislation or suitable schemes. Now, I will just invite you to the, first of all, Legal Services Authorities Act. What is the preamble of the Legal Services Authorities Act? Because it provides legal aid by suitable legislation. Then it was framed, that is Act number 39 of 1987. It is called the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987. What is the framework and what is the preamble of the Legal Services Authorities Act? An act to constitute legal services authorities to provide free and competent legal services to the weaker sections of the society. All of you are finding from Article 39A, there's a complete similarity to what the Legal Services Authorities Act says. That is, weaker sections of the society. The same word has been used under Article 39A, not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disabilities. That means legal services to the weaker sections of the society to ensure that opportunities for securing justice are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disabilities. The same word has been used under Article 39A, that is, are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disabilities. Therefore, all these students, it's very clear before you that due to Article 39A, that is suitable legislation or schemes, this Legal Services Authorities Act was framed, that is in 1987, and thereafter this Article 39A was inserted in 1976, that is with effect from 3rd January 1977, and thereafter this has come in 1987, that is 11th October 1987, by Act of 39 of 1987, not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disabilities, and to organize Lok Adalats to secure that the operation of the legal system promotes justice on a basis of equal opportunity. Now this amendment has come that Lok Adalats, the power has been given for organizing Lok Adalats to secure that the operation of legal justice and legal system promote justice on basis of the equal opportunities. Now, on the basis of Legal Services Authorities Act, a constitution was framed under Chapter 2, that is National Legal Services Authority. That is Section 3. The central government shall constitute a body to be called the National Legal Services Authorities to exercise the powers and perform the functions conferred on or assigned to the central authority under the Act, and the Chief Justice of India, who shall be the patron in chief. Similarly, a Legal Services Authority have been framed for the Supreme Court also, that is under Section 3A of the Legal Services Authorities Act, known as central authority shall constitute a committee to be called the Supreme Court Legal Services Committee for the purpose of exercising such powers and performing of such functions as may be determined by the regulations made by the central authority. Now then, under chapter 3, a constitution was also framed for the state legal services authorities. That is, every state government shall constitute a body to be called the legal services authorities for the state to exercise the powers and functions conferred on or assigned by the state authority, and the chief justice of that state shall be the patron in chief. I was also the chairman of the legal services authority, as I was a judge in the Uttarakhand High Court, and therefore I have acted that and I have performed all my duties under the Legal Services Authorities Act. And thereafter, a High Court legal services are that under section 8A, the state authority shall constitute a committee to be called the High Court Legal Services Committee for every High Court for the purpose of exercising such powers and performing such functions as may be determined by the regulations by the state. Now, thereafter, under section 9, a district legal services authority have been framed. Just you see that it is not only 3-tier, but it is a 4-tier. National Legal Services Authority, State Legal Services Authority, and District Legal Services Authority. And thereafter, that is under the District Legal Services Authority, district judge is in charge. And thereafter, another, that is 4-tier, which I am referring, it's a function, it's a Taluk Legal Services Committee, which are Bombay has sent the intimation to all from the Taluk Legal Services Committee. What is this Taluk? State authority may constitute a committee to be called a Taluk Legal Services Committee for each Taluk or Mandal, or for group of taluks or mandals. The committee consists of the senior most judicial officer operating within the jurisdiction of the committee, and the function of the Taluk Legal Services Authority are defined under section 11B of the Act. That is, Taluk Legal Services Committee may perform all or any of the functions, coordinate the activities of the legal services, organize Lok Adalats within the Taluk, and perform such other functions as the district authority may assign to it. Therefore, it is a 4-tier functioning, and this Bombay is doing a lot, as I have been stated by Mr. Hasni, that they have organized more than 30 functions, and these organizations have been organized for this. It's a very good functioning which are being done by the Legal Services Authorities Act and all that. And now I am coming to the scheme, that is the scheme for paralegal volunteers which have been formed. That is I have just stated before you, Article 39A, suitable legislation or schemes. Legislation has been formed as a Legal Services Authority Act, and under the Legal Services Authorities Act, this has been formed, that is the scheme for paralegal volunteers. Now, what is the paralegal volunteers? That's very simple to understand. What is this paralegal volunteers? They have been formed. First of all, the students who are present here, they should have in mind that whatever is flowing, that is in the initially I have stated that there's a Ganga, that is Article 39A, and all the other acts are flowing from that Ganga, that is Article 39A, that is the Legal Services Authorities Act. And from the Legal Services Authorities Act, District Legal Services, Taluk Legal Services, National Legal Services, and then now a scheme has come, that is scheme for a legal volunteers for the known as paralegal volunteers. During the year 2009, National Legal Services Authority Act, that is known as NALSA, brought out a scheme called the Paralegal Volunteers Scheme, which aimed at imparting legal training to volunteers selected from different walks of life so as to ensure legal aid reaching all sections of people through the process of paralegal volunteers, ultimately removing all the barriers into access to justice. That is the main aim of Article 39A of the Constitution of India. The paralegal volunteers are expected to act as intermediaries, bringing the gap between the common people and the legal services institutions to remove impediments in access to justice. Ultimately, the process aims at legal services institutions reaching out to the people at their doorsteps, which the Vidhi Vichar, that is, as Monica Negi has stated, Vidhi Seva Evam Samajik Utthan, organizing Lok Adalats in villages. Now, Lok Adalat is a form of coming from Legal Services Authorities Act, and therefore, as stated by Vidhi Vichar Seva or Mr. Hasni, that ultimately the process aims at legal services institutions, that is legal services authorities, either at the national legal services at the end of, or the district or taluk, whatever may be, reaching out to the people at doorsteps rather than people approaching such legal services institutions. Now, I may just tell before you, this is concept is coming, Western concept, which is coming out, and Indian community has adopted due this Article 39A, and that is Legal Services Authorities Act, and this scheme has been adopted, and therefore this paralegal volunteers are expected to impart awareness on laws and the legal systems. They also expected to train to the counsel and amicably settle simple disputes. Now, for that purpose, I will come to the acts. First of all, I deal what are the paralegal volunteers and how they are selected. Now, they are selected from the teachers, including retired teachers. They will just educate in the villages with the help of Legal Services Authority Act and the scheme to educate regarding the educational. All of you are must know it, that education is a part of Article 21 of the Constitution of India. Article 21A says about the education, and for that purpose, I will just say a single line before you what has been stated in the Mohini Jain's case, that is of 1992. The right to education, therefore, is a fundamental right enshrined under Part 3 of the Constitution. The state is under a constitutional mandate to provide educational institutions at all levels for the benefit of the citizens. The educational institutions must function to the best advantage of the citizens. Opportunity to acquire education cannot be confined to the richer section of the society. This is a judgment in the of the Supreme Court in the case of Mohini Jain versus State of Karnataka. And further, their lordships of the Supreme Court have stated, right to life is the compendium expression for all those rights which the court must enforce because they are basic to the dignified enjoyment of life. It extends to the full range of conduct which the individual is free of to pursue. The right to education flows directly from right to life, the right to life under Article 21. And the dignity of an individual cannot be assured unless it is accompanied by the right to education. The state government is under an obligation to make endeavor to provide educational facilities at all levels to its citizens of the country. Now, this is coming from Mohini Jain's case. Therefore, this scheme for paralegal volunteers have included teachers, including retired teachers. They should educate for Article 21, but right to education being fundamental right. Then retired government servants and senior citizens, they are also should introduce legal services also in the government, in the villages. MSW students, teachers, that is computer workers, Anganwadi workers, doctors, physicians, they are very important for this purpose. Then coming exactly for Dr. Hasani and for also Dr. Chaudhary and for civil judges also who are civil judge who is present here. Students and law students till they enrolled as a lawyers. This is very important. They are included as a para scheme for, under the scheme for paralegal volunteers. Students and law students till they enrolled as a lawyers. Now, I will just illustrate before you. Mr. Raghuvanshi are present, either he is present or not. Bar Council of India has introduced a moot court competitions. Now they are being done by the law students who are not enrolled as advocates. What they are demonstrating? They are demonstrating as a right to practice. How an advocate can practice in the district court, Supreme Court or High Court. These students have become a guideline for those. Therefore, the moot court, I have inaugurated so many moot court competitions. I have not got an opportunity to see the moot court in Bombay, which I may see in near future. But in Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh and all places I have seen the moot court and also inaugurated that. Now the moot court which has been introduced to Bar Council is just an Article 39A of the Constitution of India. Because the legal services and the legal services how to practice, they are demonstrating. It's a very important function they are performing. How to plead an advocate, how to plead the client's assertion. That has become very important. And then members of non-political service oriented NGOs and clubs. Now this is very important. This is a scheme for paralegal volunteers. Now all those who are present here and even the civil judge and all those, I will just demonstrate before you this members of non-political service oriented NGOs and clubs. This Vidhi Vichar, this Vidhi Seva, all this are NGOs. This has become therefore a job for them also. And this NGO word, I will just demonstrate before you. This NGO word has come up in the Protection of Human Rights Act also. You will say how? First of all, I will just demonstrate before you what is protection of, because initially I have said that this paralegal is a just combination of all other acts, that is Arbitration Act, Protection of Human Rights Act, Environmental Act, all those acts are combined this paralegal services. I'll just illustrate before you section 2D of the Human Rights Act, Protection of Human Rights Act. Human rights means the rights relating to life, liberty, constitution, or embodied in the international covenants and enforceable by courts in India. I have been a member of the Human Rights Uttarakhand for the last for 5 years continuously. I have seen that the work of Legal Services Authority Act is very important under the Human Rights Act, because all those who come, even persons file the applications that my dignity has been affected, then the Human Rights Act come into play. The villagers used to file the applications that I have no money at all, I live in the village, kindly suggest me how to go to the Legal Services Authority Act and how to act, how to face the music of the free legal aid. All these things become very important for the protection of human rights, and for that purpose I have just stated before you, human rights means the rights relating to life, liberty, equality and dignity of the individual, guaranteed by the Constitution, that is Article 21, Article 19, Article 14, all are very important for the human rights, for keeping a dignity of the human rights in the international covenants and enforceable by courts of India. That is international covenants are Universal Declaration of Human Rights. All are guided by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, because the human rights was adopted in 1993 by India after the 28th September 1993, after the assembly held in USA, and all the states who were participant had adopted this Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the Protection of Human Rights Act. Now, there is a clause under section 12 of the Protection of Human Rights Act, encourage the efforts of non-governmental organizations and institutions working in the field of human rights. Mr. Civil Judge, Mr. Hasni, and Mr. all those legal-minded persons are sitting here. This word of non-government organizations have nowhere stated except in protection of human rights. Therefore, the work of this paralegal volunteers have become more important. They have to bring forth to the courts of law, in the Human Rights Act, and also to the court and before the civil judge, before the High Court, before the Supreme Court, that the dignity of the individual are very important. And for that purpose, several persons are approaching to the Supreme Court also for their dignity, and for that the fundamental rights are available. And this human non-government organizations have become a very important factors nowadays. Now, I will just state before you how the non-government organizations are approaching the Supreme Court from time to time for the dignity of the person, and also for that purpose. One of the case has come up before the Supreme Court, Kapila Hingorani. In Kapila Hingorani, I will just before you how the work of the paralegal have become very important nowadays. Now in Kapila Hingorani, what the Supreme Court has emphasized, this Kapila Hingorani is a just non-organization, that is non-government organization, and this has approached to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has stated in 2002, all have equal rights in articles of food and water. The Supreme Court has also referred to the international covenants of the Declaration of the Human Rights, and it has stated that Universal Declaration of Human Rights 1948 enumerates at least 27 broad rights, including the right to life, freedom from slavery and forced labor. The Protection of Human Rights Act 1993 defines human rights to mean rights relating to life, liberty, equality, and dignity of the individual, guaranteed by the Constitution or embodied in International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, which were adopted by the General Assembly of United Nations on 16th December 1966. The said act was made by the Parliament having regard to the changing social realities and growing concern in India, and brought about issues relating to human rights with a view to bring about greater accountability and transparency in the enforcement of laws to the nation. Part 3 and 4 of the Constitution of India contains a large number of rights which guarantee human rights, some of which are akin to the rights enumerated in international treaties and Chapter Article 11 of the International Covenant in Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. It states that the states parties to the present covenant recognize the right of everyone to an adequate standard of living for himself and his family, including adequate food, clothing, and housing, and to the continuous improvement of living conditions. This can be done by the NGOs. This can be done by the persons who are exercising their powers. When I will come to the powers, I will just emphasize that, Mr. Civil Judge, you have got ample power, and I am lucky that you are here, and I have got an opportunity to train you also. You will see how it has come if you just see Section 89(2) of the Civil Procedure Code. You have got the ample power under Section 89(2) of the Civil Procedure Code. Now this Section 89(2), when I come, if you must be remembering Section 89(2) of the. Now Section 89 says, where it appears to the court that there exist elements which may be acceptable to the parties, the court shall formulate the terms of settlement and give them to the parties for their observations, and after receiving the observation of the parties, the court may reformulate the terms of a possible settlement, refer the same for arbitration, conciliation, judicial settlement, including settlement through Lok Adalat, or mediation, where a dispute has been referred for arbitration or conciliations. The provisions of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act shall apply, and if the proceedings for arbitration or conciliation were referred for settlement under the provisions of the Act to the Lok Adalat, the court shall refer the same to the Lok Adalat in accordance with the provisions of subsection 1 of Section 20 of the Legal Services Authorities Act, and all other provisions of the Act shall apply in respect of the dispute so referred to the Lok Adalat. Then the judicial settlement, mediation. Therefore, in all these provisions the act applies, that is the Legal Services Authorities Act applies. That is the main act. And now the scheme which has come, that is for the paralegal volunteers. Now their duty has to be there before you, that they should brought before you, the paralegal volunteers shall brought before the court all the provisions that somebody is suffering, that is the problem, that therefore they have to brought before you. Now the scheme has come, even the law student can brought this fact before you, even the teachers can brought before you, even environmentalists can brought this fact before you, that some persons are suffering. Mr. All those, I am just before you, I am just illustrating before you how a person has approached to the Supreme Court, that in Nainital what is happening, एक आदमी दूसरे तल्ली ताल से मल्ली ताल जाता है और रास्ते में क्या फेस करता है, इसके लिए आप देखिए, एक आदमी ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट मूव किया और कहा कि यहां से आदमियों से ज्यादा तो घोड़े चलते हैं यहां पर। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इमीडिएटली उस पर संज्ञान लिया और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि ये घोड़ों की जो लीड है, दैट इज एनवायरनमेंट को पूरी दूषित कर रही है। दैट इज अ केस ऑफ अजय सिंह रावत। अजय सिंह रावत में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि सारा गंदगी हो रही है वहां पर, दैट हैज बीन स्टॉप्ड। द सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज स्टॉप्ड एंड नाउ they have just घोड़ा का उनका स्लैब कहीं बन गया, and they have just been shifted to Sukhatal somewhere. And these are the functions of the NGOs under the Legal Services Authorities Act. They have to brought this fact before the Supreme Court, before the High Court, before the civil judge, and all. Now the civil judge under the Legal Services Authority play an important role. Now I will just bring before you another judgment. I am taking much time, I am sorry, but I will just Mr. Civil Judge, I will just bring before you the case of the Supreme Court, Salim Advocate Bar versus Union of India, that was decided on 2nd of August 2005. In this judgment, Supreme Court has said, that is Salim Advocate Bar versus Union of India, 2nd of August 2005. One of the modes to which the dispute can be referred to is arbitration is section 89(2), provides that where a dispute has been referred for arbitration or conciliation, the provisions of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996, for short 1996 Act, shall apply as if the proceedings for arbitration or conciliation were referred for settlement under the provisions of 1996 Act. Section 8 of 1996 Act deals with the power to refer the parties to arbitration where there is arbitration agreement, as held in P. Anand such and such, governs a case where arbitration is agreed upon before a pending suit by all the parties. Therefore, I am emphasizing before you that now the ADR has also come into play. It's by the non-government organizations. They can very well brought this fact for the arbitration, mediation and all that. All power has been conferred. Therefore, nobody can say that only the organized organizations can do. Not, NGO has no role at all. Only the affected person can do. NGOs have got a real sense. In real sense, this scheme of paralegal volunteers have raised this scheme and they have been conferred this power. Therefore, let NGOs be confronted with this power. They have got a very, very discretionary power and very large power the Supreme Court has given under the powers under Article 39A of the Constitution of India. Now I will come to the during pandemic case. Now the work of this non-organizations are being seen in the TV daily. They are offering food packets, they are offering oxygen to everybody. Now, all this has come up as a NGOs, they are working. Now, I will just say Article 51, they are doing all this under the constitutional provisions, that is under Article 51A of the Constitution of India and Article 48A of the Constitution of India, which provides that this is a duty, it's a fundamental duty of every 51A says, it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. This is national struggle for freedom. They are providing food packets, they are providing oxygen. Every person is involved in this, and we are thankful to the every citizens of the country who are devoting themselves for the protection of this inspiring our national struggle for freedom. This is a national struggle for freedom. In the end, I will say that अगर हम सिर्फ ईश्वर की पूजा करते रहें और अपने कर्म करते रहें तो सब चीजें हासिल हो जाती हैं और भगवान स्वयं अपने आप आकर हम लोगों को शरण देते हैं। यही मेरी तमन्ना है और यही मेरी कामना है। अंत में फिर महाविनायक जी को प्रणाम करता हूं और हासनी जी से प्रार्थना करता हूं कि महाविनायक पर पुष्प चढ़ाने का मुझे मौका देंगे। धन्यवाद
सर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। It was indeed pleasure and honor to listening to you. I am sure today, including me, all of us has gained lot of things from you. As it is appearing in your speech, sir, you are really a follower, religious person, follower of God, that everyone should be. Despite of being at any post you are, you must have faith in yourself also and in your God also. That is what today we have learned from you. Besides this, we have also learned that how Legal Services Authority Act can be useful not only for the law students, teachers, but role of judges is also important. And sir, it was again, I would like to thank you from bottom of my heart that you spare your valuable time and guidance in our program. And on behalf of my management, my NTVS Law College, respected principal, my colleagues, all the participants of this webinar, we once again thank you from bottom of my heart to enlightening us with your knowledge, sir. Sir, thank you so much, sir. Okay, friends, so let us move on. As I said we have another speaker with us today in this program, and that is Honorable Umesh Chandraji More, who is Judge, City Civil and Sessions Court in Greater Mumbai. Sir has done his PhD on the topic Judicial Reforms, Issues and Challenges. Sir has also done MBA from Yashwantrao Chauhan Open University. Sir has various diploma degrees like DLL and LW, Diploma in Consumer Protection Laws, Certificate Course in Journalism, GDC and A. Sir has also done the PG Diploma in Cyber Law, Corporate Law, Postgraduate Diploma in Corporate Laws, Diploma in Intellectual Property Rights, Postgraduate Diploma in ADR, Diploma in Forensic Medicine and Medical Jurisprudence, Diploma in Anti-Corruption Laws, Diploma in E-Litigation, Postgraduate Diploma in Value Education and Spirituality, Print Media, and he is also pursuing Masters in Legal Studies. As far as work experience is concerned, he has practiced before trial court at Malshiras, District Solapur, Joint Judiciary in 2004, then promoted as CJSD and Additional CJM Kolhapur 2016, was posted as the Secretary District Legal Services Authority Kolhapur in 2019, then promoted as Ad hoc District Judge and Additional Sessions Judge, conferred session powers as Additional Session Judge on 2020, presently working as City Civil and Session Judge Greater Mumbai, as I already said. To his name, he has various seminars and workshops intensive mediators training at Pune, MCPC, Supreme Court, Delhi. Regional conference role of court in protection of human rights at National Judicial Academy for period 25 to 27 November. Likewise, he has attended so many refresher training programs, training skills program, and also has been has delivered lectures and speeches in various seminars at Maharashtra Judicial Academy, Main Mediation Center, Honorable High Court of Bombay, State Women Commission, Mumbai, Police Training Academy, Lonavla, State Intelligence Department, Maharashtra State Police, Pune, Yashada, Government of Maharashtra, Pune Municipal Corporation. And the list is very long, so let us not, I guess, I should waste time in introducing him, because I have already forwarded the profile of Honorable More sir in our WhatsApp group. So it's time to hear him. And sir, with this, I would like to invite you to please address our audience. So please.
Good morning. Whether I'm audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, please continue.
Good morning, all of you. The Honorable Lordship Sri Justice Tandon sir, former Judge, Uttarakhand High Court. The Honorable Dr. Chaudhary sir, Principal, NTVS Law College. The Coordinator Dr. S.S. Hassani sir, Honorable Dr. Y.K. Reddy, Associate Dean of the North Maharashtra University. All the coordinators of the Vidhi Seva Evam Samajik Uttan Samiti, Dehradun, all the faculty of the NTVS Law College, and the dear law students, paralegal volunteers, and my friends. First of all, I am very thankful to His Lordship Tandon sir for appreciating the Maharashtra Judiciary and the Maharashtra Legal Services Authority for tremendous work on the legal services and mediation. I also request His Lordship kindly welcome to the Bombay for the darshan of the Siddhivinayak Ganpati. I will make all arrangement. Kindly give me a kind opportunity. I will share my number already share my number to Dr. Chaudhary sir and Hassani sir. So dear students, I was COVID positive. Now I am positive to speak before you with the grace of the God. Dear friends, the topic given is paralegal volunteers training. It requires more than 4 days. The schedule prepared by the National Legal Service Authority is for the induction training program, basic training program, and the refresher training program. 1 day, 3 day, and 4 day simultaneously. So within span of the half an hour, it's just impossible to have a deliberation on the topic that is training to the paralegal volunteers. But I will try my level at the best to touch the material and important portion of the training schedule, training module prepared by the National Legal Service Authority. The definition made by the 2013 NALSA scheme for the paralegal volunteers, that the PLVs are intermediaries who bridging gap between the common people and the legal service institutions. The PLV are the coordinators between the common people and the legal service institutions. The Honorable Lordship has very well informed and enlightened on the basic aspects of the paralegal volunteers training, the laws which are regarding to the training, and the laws laid down by the Honorable Supreme Court regarding the ADR modes. The Honorable Lordship reiterated the law laid down by the Supreme Court, the Honorable Supreme Court, in Salem Bar Association Case 1, the Salem Bar Association Case 2. Dear friends, the Salem Bar Association is a landmark case which made a ratio that the amendments made to the Civil Procedure Code in 1999 and 2002 was challenged before the Honorable Supreme Court, and this was rejected with appointing the committee of Honorable Justice Rao, and this is landmark judgment which provides that the arbitration and the conciliation controlled and supervised by the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996, the Lok Adalat, judicial settlement, and the mediation controlled and supervised by the provisions of Legal Services Authority Act 1987. Dear friends, before focusing on the topic trainings to the paralegal volunteers, I would like to give basic information hierarchy of our legal services system in India. Dear friends, Honorable Chief Justice of India is a patron-in-chief of the National Legal Services Authority. The Honorable Senior Judge of the Supreme Court is the Executive Chairman of the National Legal Services Authority. The Honorable Chief Justice of the High Court is the patron-in-chief of the State Legal Services Authority. The Honorable Senior Judge of the Concerned High Court is the Executive Chairman of the State Legal Services Authority. The Principal District Judge of the District Legal Services Authority is the Chairman of the Legal Services Authority, and the officer at the cadre of Civil Judge, Civil or Chief Judicial Magistrate is the Secretary of the District Legal Services Authority. See, NALSA, SALSA, DALSA and TLSC, the Lordship has rated it the Taluka Legal Services Committee, 4-tier system for the legal services in India. Simultaneously, there are 4-tier system for the mediation also. At Supreme Court level, at Honorable Supreme Court level, MCPC, Mediation and Conciliation Project Committee. At state level, like in our Bombay High Court, Main Mediation Center. At District Court, District Mediation Center. And Taluka level, Taluka Mediation and Conciliation Committee. So everywhere there is options for the general people to approach for the legal services and also for the mode of ADR, that is mediation. District Judge level senior officer is a chairman of the Legal Services Authority, and the Secretary DLSA is a coordinator for the mediation purpose at district level. And the senior most judge of a Taluka will look after as the chairman of the Taluka Legal Services Authority and also Taluka Mediation Committee. Dear friends, we are citizens of India. India is the biggest democratic nation in the world. Our source of law is Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution is a guardian of all of us. So we should not forget the social justice. Our preamble says, with the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into secular socialist republic, sovereign, democratic, and to secure for its all citizens justice, social, economical, and political. So social justice is the soul of the Indian Constitution. And Honorable Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar said that social justice should not remain on the paper, rather it should, in real sense, given to the doors of the society. And it is the bounden duty of we all that the justice should reach to the doorsteps of the society, and therefore the tagline of our NALSA is न्याय सबके लिए, न्याय सर्वांसाठी, justice for all. On the vehicles of access to justice, on the vehicles of the access to justice, we have to strive the excellence. We have to attempt to bring home the justice for the marginalized people, for the socially, economically backward people who cannot access to justice due to their poverty, due to their socially and economically backwardness. And therefore, preamble says social justice is very important, friends. And as a paralegal volunteer, it's our bounden duty to bridge the gap between the common people and the legal service institutions. Unless and until we bridge up the gap, the access to justice cannot be possible. So, Honorable Justice P.N. Bhagwati sir has sowed the seed of the legal aid in 1979. First time in India, the Legal Services Institution was established. Subsequently, the Legal Services Authority Act, Vidhi Seva Pradhikaran Kaida, was enacted by the Parliament in 1987, but it was implemented in 1995. न्याय सबके लिए, the principle of the NALSA on which we all are working, it takes more than 7 years after 87, and in 1995 gradually our legal system, judicial system has taken pains, efforts for the access to justice to the doorstep of the society. And today we can see, after the landmark case of AFCON judgment, after the landmark case of the Salem Bar Association, everywhere there is a Lok Adalat, mediation, judicial settlement, arbitration, and conciliation, which are the effective mode of the speedy justice in India. Dear friends, as a paralegal volunteers, your role is very important. See, you have to work on these 12 important points which I have made a summary after reading to the NALSA schemes for the PLVs and all the schemes related to the NALSA. More than 15 important schemes of the NALSA. As a paralegal volunteers, you have to work for the Lok Adalat. The PLV can be a member of the Lok Adalat who has to assist to the panel member, who can be a panel member who has to assist the process of the Lok Adalat. The PLV can be a person to make awareness in a legal aid camp for Lok Adalats, to aware the people about their rights, how can they approach to the legal service authority, and how can they become a part of the Lok Adalat for speedy justice, to save their valuable time, to save their valuable energy, to save their valuable money, and to save their valuable relationship. The paralegal volunteer has to work for the mediation also. At District Mediation Center, when I was the Secretary DLSC Kolhapur, I have appointed 2 paralegal volunteers who used to work in the front office. Dear friends, the important role of the paralegal volunteer to work at the front office. The person, the common people first come in the court at the front office, they gives information about their case, the injustice done to them, and the paralegal volunteer has to narrate it, write down all their grievances with the help of the DLSA lawyer. And after opinion from the DLSA lawyer, they have to give detailed information to the coordinator, public DLSA secretary, and they will get immediate the help of the legal aid lawyer. So you can understand what a vital and important role has to play by the paralegal volunteer at the front office at every district legal services authority at district level, at every taluka legal services authority at taluka level in India. So your role is at Lok Adalat, mediation center, front room, juvenile court. Your 4th role is you can work as a paralegal volunteer to help the Juvenile Justice Board as assistant. I have appointed 2 transgenders, first time in India, as a paralegal volunteers at Juvenile Justice Board at Kolhapur. Still today, they are working and helping to the Juvenile Justice Board. The appointment of paralegal volunteers at police station, DYSP office, SP office, as soon as any case, any FIR lodged against the accused, the paralegal volunteer who are sitting at the police station, who are appointed as a PLV at the police stations, SP office, DYSP office, has to immediately help the complainant or accused who is in need of the legal aid. Listen carefully. You are not authority on the police. You are just coordinator between the common people and the legal service authority. But sometimes there may be injustice on any person at police station. It is you who has to coordinate and bring that fellow, that common person at the legal service authority, because he doesn't have knowledge how to approach to the legal service institutions. The 6th opportunity given to the PLV by the NALSA scheme is at legal aid clinics. The various legal aid clinics has been established at the law colleges, some arts and commerce colleges also, and some NGO offices. In Kolhapur, I have made attempts to establish the legal aid clinics for the transgenders and for the prostitutes and for the HIV affected persons. Dear friends, there was my team for the paralegal volunteers, of which I have selected transgenders in first time in India as a paralegal volunteers, HIV affected people first time in India in 2016 as a paralegal volunteers, and prostitutes the women who are the victims of the human trafficking and commercial sexual exploitation. This is also important scheme of the NALSA. If you go on through the NALSA website, you can see there is special scheme for the victims of trafficking and commercial sexual exploitation. And accordingly, I have tried my best to work with the help of PLV. And I have choose the transgenders, HIV affected people, and the prostitutes. I have trained them, appointed them as a paralegal volunteer. Till today, they are working for the common people, and we have to sensitize them about their rights also, because they are citizens of the India and their constitutional rights to be protected. So we can see how wide and ample perception about the rights of the PLV, how you can choose these marginalized people and bring them into mainstream of the society. The important work of the paralegal volunteer is to choose these people who are marginalized, who are socially and economically backward, because the basic principle of the Constitution, I again says, the aim of the Constitution is social justice. So we all have to work for them. The eighth work is NGO. At the NGO level, there can be work of the paralegal volunteers. There was a Maitri NGO in Kolhapur working for the transgender, and the paralegal volunteer chosen from them still working for the rights of the transgenders. The paralegal volunteer first time make them eligible for the right to vote. More than 300 transgenders first time vote in their life in Kolhapur. So these can be a success story with the help of the work of the paralegal volunteers. The paralegal volunteers can be appointed at the legal aid clinic for the acid attack victim. The Honorable Supreme Court has directed that there should be a legal aid clinic at every government hospital, at every district, for the rights of the acid attack victim. Accordingly, we have appointed the HIV affected people as a paralegal volunteer. We train them, the ZANU, the NGO working for the rights of the HIV affected people. 2 persons of the ZANU NGO chosen as a PLV, train them, and now they are working as a paralegal volunteer at legal aid clinic for the acid attack victim at the CPR hospital, Kolhapur. Why I am giving an example? So you could understand how you have to work in practically for these downtrodden people, for these marginalized people. The appointment of the PLV at collector office also. The people doesn't know the revenue laws. The person have their fundamental rights, and who doesn't know how to protect it. Every person have their work with the Honorable Collector of District. So all the government schemes should be channelized, and people should make awareness about the government scheme, and it is the paralegal volunteer who has to help the people by making awareness about the government scheme. Dear friends, I have framed some questions and with answers, because I have very less time of half an hour on this big topic of training to the PLVs. First question is, who is entitled for free legal aid? Section 12 of the Legal Service Authority provides member of SC and ST community, victims of human trafficking, women, child, mentally ill or disabled person, victims of mass disaster, caste atrocity, flood, drought, earthquake, industrial disaster, industrial workman, person in custody, including protective home, Section 2 of PITA Act, juvenile home, Section 2 of Juvenile Justice Act, psychiatric hospital, Section 2 of Mental Health Act, 1987, and the person whose annual income is less than 3 lakh rupees. See, there is a variance in all states. Some have 1 lakh, some have 1.5 lakh, 1.5 lakh, some have 2 lakh. In Maharashtra, we have 3 lakh, the annual source of income. The person who has less than 3 lakh rupees annual source of income is eligible for free legal aid under Section 12 of the Legal Services Authority Act. What are the documents required for the free legal aid? As a paralegal volunteer, you should know. If people come to you, मुझे न्याय चाहिए, मेरी परिस्थिति नहीं है, मेरी फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन नहीं है, मुझे वकील चाहिए, तो आपको पता चाहिए कि किन लोगों को किन लोगों को हम फ्री में लीगल एड दे सकते हैं, फ्री में वकील दे सकते हैं. ये एज अ पैरालीगल वॉलंटियर आपको पता होना चाहिए. सो डियर फ्रेंड्स, under Section 13(2) of Legal Services Authority Act, an affidavit about income is sufficient. Second question है, what is free legal services? In civil case, criminal case, poor marginalized people can come and ask for free legal aid. The provisions of legal aid is the representatives of the lawyer, payment of process fees also, expenses of witness, all the charges regarding legal processes. They are eligible. Listen carefully. As a PLV, you should know what they are entitled. Preparation of pleadings by a lawyer, memo of appeal by a lawyer, paper book printing, translation of documents, legal proceedings, certified copies. All these expenses can be borne by the legal service institution subject to scrutiny. One more question. How can I apply for free legal aid? You can apply offline or online. Example, the NALSA website, NALSA_DLA@nic.in. So there can be a physical visit to the legal service authority and you can make offline application. Otherwise, you can also make online application and you are entitled for the legal aid after scrutiny. So take help of the paralegal volunteers who can be a real coordinator between the common people and the legal service institutions in India. Last question. Can I choose lawyer of my choice? Yes. As per regulation 7 in bracket 6 of NALSA rule 2010 for free and competent legal services rules made by the NALSA in 2010 provides, yes, there can be a lawyer of your choice subject to scrutiny by the concerned committee who will appoint the lawyer. So dear friends, your role is very material for the protection of the rights of the general people. The paralegal volunteers are the soldiers at the front lines. The paralegal volunteers are the soldiers at the frontiers of legal awareness camp at community level. They are messengers of every legal service institutions. It is stated by Honorable Justice Deepak Mishra sir, the then Honorable Chief Justice of India. By imparting training to the PLVs, you should empower to deal with the situation expected. Any situation, there may be complaints of the sexual atrocities on the women. There may be complaint of the domestic violence. There may be complaints of the sexual harassment at working place. There will be dispute between the employer and employee. Every situation you are empowered to handle when person approaches to you for free legal aid. So being paralegal lawyers, there are more than 35 social legislations which are the basic knowledge given to you in these three courses, which is the orientation course, basic training course, and the refresher course. Dear friends, you are not authority. You are not authority on police or any government agency. You are just coordinator. Listen carefully. PLV would not be a source of livelihood. It is a purely social service for the society and not a source of livelihood. You have no supervisory role over the government officers and the police. You are purely volunteers. You are purely volunteers. Your motto is that to connect and to act. Your motto is that to connect and to act. Article 39A provides to secure legal systems, to promote justice, to reach the last disadvantaged man, the most remote centers of the society. The medium of the PLV is a significant medium for role and access to justice for all. Dear friends, lastly, as His Lordship, Honorable Lordship also made deliberation on the fundamental rights. Every human rights needs to be protected, and for this your role is important. Fundamental rights are very important features of Constitution of India, dear friends. Right to equality, right to freedoms, Article 19, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, right to constitutional guarantees, Article 32, right to cultural and educational rights. The rule of law is important, and everywhere you have to work that there should be a rule of law and no downtrodden people should have any injustice on him. There are 6 freedoms: freedom of speech and expression, freedom of assembly, freedom of association, freedom of movement, freedom of residence and settlement, and freedom of trade and profession. We should take care of all these freedoms of the marginalized people. Certain people are still awaiting for the justice, and we should sensitize them about their right to justice. Article 21 is broadly widened the scope by Honorable Supreme Court, right to life. So you should take care that the people's right to life is now widened. How it is widened, let us have a glance on the laws laid down by the Honorable Supreme Court. Right to live with human dignity, right against sexual harassment at workplace, right to reputation, right to livelihood, right to shelter, right to social security and protection of family, right to health, right to medical care, right to get pollution-free air and water, right against noise pollution, right to clean environment, and right to know or getting information. Dear friends, these are the important rights within the purview of the fundamental rights. The topic is very big. I have limitation. I think it's more than half an hour. before ending to my session, I would like to give some examples how the PLV, dear friends, as a paralegal volunteer, you must be a law student or who can be a paralegal volunteer. Already Honorable Justice Tandon sir has informed us the category of the person who can be chosen as a paralegal volunteer. I don't want to repeat it. You can change life of the people, dear friends, as a PLV. Yes, I have expressed in last 3 years as a DLSA secretary in Kolhapur. I would like to give some examples. There was one case where the paralegal volunteer, Mr. Raghunath Patil in Kolhapur, has informed me that one lady has been drawn out of the marital, that is matrimonial home, by his husband, her husband. When that lady came to the district mediation center with the paralegal volunteer, she informed that she was drawn out of marital home by her husband due to sheer misunderstanding, and her reason was very simple reason, that she was well educated but she could not know how to wear sari at traditional home, and she could not have so efficient speed to work household work. These are the two grounds where her mother-in-law caused to draw her out of marital home. She was drawn, but unfortunately, the small baby of the 6 months was kept in the custody of the husband and mother-in-law. With the help of the PLV, we get the address, immediately issued pre-litigation mediation notice. Husband came. We have discussed the niceties of mediation, first session, joint session, single session, sub session. The end of the mediation process was that success, and husband was ready. Both have no issues, but there was third party interference by the mother-in-law. We in Maharashtra has given the name to story Hirkani, because there is a famous case of the Hirkani at the period of the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and the Hirkani after the sunset, nobody was permitted to go outside the Rajgarh Killa. But she, her daughter, small baby was at home. She, in spite of darkness, without any fear, boarded down from the mountain and went to her home as her baby was waiting for her. This is Hirkani's famous case in Maharashtra. So like this, the baby was not with this case, the lady which was before me in mediation center for more than 2 months, 6 months baby, you can understand. But due to paralegal volunteer only, Mr. Raghunath Patil, we can unite this family, and there was succession. There was success. There was savings of money, savings of energy, savings of valuable time, and savings of valuable relations. Second case is one lady was suffering for the HIV due to her husband. Husband expired due to the HIV. She was driven out of the matrimonial home as she was suffering for the HIV, but she was not at fault. That case was brought to my notice by the HIV affected paralegal volunteer. We called the in-laws by the pre-litigation notice. There was more than 6 sessions for the pre-litigation mediation. That paralegal voluntary, the credit goes to PLV, and we succeed in this case also. There was the reunion of the family, and she was given her shares in the ancestral property with her 2 daughters. But third case was I want to share. You must know the famous the brave soldier Hanmantappa, who succumbed to injury due to the ice sliding. He buried under the ice before 5 to 6 years. His colleague, one army officer from the Kolhapur, one paralegal volunteer was come with the army officer and informed that he was cheated by one money launderer in the Varnanagar village in Kolhapur. The paralegal volunteer about the case, we issued notice, and there was succession in pre-litigation mediation, and we could get his plot in possession after the agreement, and there was justice to the army officer who was from the regiment of the late soldier Hanmantappa. So these three cases are shows that the paralegal volunteer can do tremendous job for the rights of the people, and really न्याय सबके लिए, न्याय सर्वांसाठी, justice for all can be implemented by you paralegal volunteers. So dear friends, your role is very important. कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. The paralegal volunteers, you are very lucky that you have the kind opportunity to work with the legal service institutions. Please try to work on the wheels of access to justice for the downtrodden people. Wish you all the best. I am very thankful to the Dr. Chaudhary sir and Dr. Hassani sir and this institution for giving me kind opportunity the address on this important topic, that is training to the paralegal volunteers. I am obliged to Honorable Sri Justice Rajesh Tandon sir, the former judge of Uttarakhand High Court. My Lord Justice, I am very thankful for listening me patiently. Thank you once again. Wish you all the best to the all paralegal volunteers and law students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. You have cited so many cases. You have given so many examples, sir. I'm sure students have benefited a lot through this speech, as well as we faculty members also got to remember that we also have got some responsibilities towards society. Law as a social engineer have made us engineers, social engineers in this society. समाज सेवा सबसे बड़ी सेवा होती है, मानव सेवा होती है. तो इस थीम पे आपने जो कुछ हाईलाइट किया सर, बहुत ही उसके लिए आपका धन्यवाद हमारे कॉलेज की तरफ से. Yes friends, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and ask the question. अगर किसी को कुछ इंटरेक्शन करना हो ऑनरेबल लॉर्डशिप से या ऑनरेबल मोरे सर से, तो वो उसका हाथ रेज कर सकता है. आपके पास ऑप्शन है, मोर बटन होगा, मोर बटन में आप क्लिक कीजिए और अगर आपको किसी को कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछना होगा तो पूछ सकता है. पैरालीगल वॉलंटियर सिर्फ लॉ स्टूडेंट ही नहीं, तो एक कोई भी व्यक्ति पैरालीगल वॉलंटियर बन सकता है. मोनिका नेगी और मोहम्मद तासिर जैसे लोग जो लॉ बैकग्राउंड से ना होते हुए भी इतना अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं एक एनजीओ के थ्रू, ये हमने देखा है. With this, I would like to request Dr. V.Y. Bairam sir to please unmute yourself and have a short valedictory address. Sir, please. Bairam sir is actually former Dean of Law Department, KBC North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, and he is currently working as principal at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Law College, Dhule, which is our colleague institute in North Maharashtra University. Sir, please. Bairam sir, please, you can start. Sir, you are not audible, Bairam sir. Bairam sir, you can reconnect your audio. Okay, now you can start, sir. Unmute yourself. Bairam sir, unmute yourself.
Now I am audible, na?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. All the dignitaries in this training program. For today's para volunteers training legal program, the chief guest, Honorable Justice Dr. Rajeshji Tandon sir, former Judge, Uttarakhand High Court, Honorable Umesh G. More, City Civil and Sessions Judge, Mumbai, Honorable Manoj G. Raghuvanshi sir, Honorable Advocate Rajendra G. Raghuvanshi sir, Advocate Mr. Chandrakant G. Raghuvanshi sir, Dr. B. Kumar Reddy sir, Associate Dean, KBC North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, Principal of NTVS Law College, Dr. N.D. Chaudhary sir,
Principal sir, I guess Bairam sir has lost his connectivity.
Okay. I think Bairam sir is not able to connect. So I, Dr. N.D. Chaudhary, Principal of the college, I thank you, Honorable Justice Rajesh Tandon ji, for providing a very informative information right from the Constitution, his own experiences, what procedural laws provides, what is expected from the paralegal volunteers. I am thankful, sir. I am also thankful to Dr. More sir, who is having practical experience since he was a secretary to the District Legal Services Authority, and he's very active member secretary in Maharashtra. We usually read in the newspaper also. His work is very impressive, and that is why we are thankful for him also for giving very valuable information to our paralegal volunteers. I am thankful to Dr. Reddy sir, Associate Dean of Faculty of Law in Kavitri Bainabai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University, Maharashtra, for joining this program today. I am thankful to Honorable Dr. Vijay Bairam, also Principal of this college, Principal of Dhule Law College. I am thankful to the Mohammad Tasir Ali Sirji, Monica Negi Madam, for providing this platform for this joint collaboration. And last and not least, I am thankful to all the participants, dear students, all the paralegal volunteers for being with us last 2 hours and joining this program. So thank you one and all. Over to Hassani sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Bairam sir has rejoined. Sir, one last word, Bairam sir, you would like to just mention so that we can wind up our program then. Bairam sir? Okay. Again, he has lost the connectivity. So, with the permission of Honorable Lordship, Tandon sir, Dr. More sirji, Dr. Reddy sirji, Dr. Bairam sirji, the NGO President and Vice President Mohammad Tasir Ali and Monica Negi ji, I really like to thank you all of you for your presence in this program. And yes, indeed, we have successfully registered near about 250 participants throughout the nation. And this streaming was also going live on YouTube. So though we can't find that much participant in this Zoom room meeting, but our YouTube channel is full with the participants. I would also share the YouTube link with the honorable guest speakers for their references, for their forwards. They can also listen to themselves afterwards, and they can also forward this program recordings wherever they want. So yes, sir, with this, Honorable Tandon sir, one last word we would like to hear from you, sir, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We have all very good team of yours, Mr. Raghuvanshi, yourself, your principal, all are very academicians, and Mr. More has also said a lot of about the volunteers, and we should work for it. But this is a fact that everybody does not know what are their powers, and NGOs have wide powers now under the Act, under the volunteers, under this Legal Services Authority Act, and therefore volunteers must come ahead, and NGOs must come for their rights, and I'll pray for them that they may give to the society their valuable contributions. That is all. Thank you very much.
Sir, once again, thank you so much. Yes, your words are precious. Obviously, we will be working on this as a part of our duty, being a law college and guiding our law students. All the students also, you may have today witnessed what you call a really brain thinking, brainstorming session today on PLV as far as legal aid, free legal aid services are concerned in our country. So yes, with this, I would like to wind up and have a final say that everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics in physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love to have a service to the society. So with this note and with the permission of Honorable dignitaries, Tandon sir, More sir, Principal sir, Dr. Reddy sir and Dr. Vijay Bairam sir, of course, Monica Negi and Mohammad Tasir Ali, I declare that our program has been successfully conducted on this virtual platform, and we will be soon meeting in the future also with our another venture. So once again, thank you all of you. Have a nice day. Stay home, stay safe. With this, I am ending the meeting, sir, now. Thank you.